We have seen a number of corporate treasurers and corporate CFOs who have spent time thinking about not just the direct impact, but thinking about the indirect impact, and have developed approaches and analyses such that when the time comes that they are in a position where they're calling up an end user to execute a derivative the way that they always have, when they start to get the feedback from the derivative dealer with regards to what the pricing might look like, they are in a position to evaluate, do I want to do it the way I've always done it? Do I want to execue on an exchange? Do I want to do it through a clearing organization?
Yeah, and the banks are getting smarter too.
I will say, though, that for every corporate treasurer and corporate CFO that we've met with who is in a position where they have spent the time to think about what their decision tree will look like when the time comes and the pricing does change on the derivatives, we're seeing far greater number of corporate treasurers and CFOs who certainly are in a position where they are willing to acknowledge the fact that the pricing of derivatives is going to change, and are in a position right now where they're saying, we're going to evaluate what our next steps will be as soon as we get some clarity with regards to the magnitude of that pricing change. And it's not until that we have that clarity that we are going to be in a position to make any investments with regards to changing any infrastructure or operations. We will address that matter as it arises.
More of a wait and see approach.
But let me throw another dimension. We haven't talked about the board of directors at all.
Yeah.
So you think about the board of a company that historically has used a meaningful amount of derivative trades to manage some form of price risk. And so the board knows that the financial institution world has been put upside down. And there's enough information in the marketplace about the impact on corporates as it relates to the changes to the derivative markets, and so the board, I would expect, at some point in the relative near future, is going to start asking the questions. So I could just envision the audit committee chair asking the question. So every quarter or at least every year, we tend to talk a little bit about our hedging book and whether we qualify for hedge accounting. It might also be a pure economic discussion. But hedging risk is a key fundamental question at every board. And so when there is something that is so fundamental as Dodd-Frank to the financial markets, and the board knows that the corporate is using the product that comes from the financial markets, can't imagine they're not going to ask the question.
Yeah, we've had a number of discussions with boards already.
Correct.
And just, again, same group, right? The boards that are proactive and on the front foot and trying to get in front are asking those questions now. Sophisticated audit committees that are looking into this early and saying, hey, we need to be in front of this, or companies that are where the CFO or the treasurer is trying to get in front of the requirements early and has submitted a board pack for board approval, right? And has told the board, this is what we are going to need to do. We're going to have to change the terms of our derivatives. We're going to have to apply for the end user scope exemption or meet the end user scope exemption. We're going to need board approval. We're going to have to talk to the regulator, and all the things we're going to have to do. Some of the boards are already having those discussions, and it leads to exactly those knock-on questions. Wait a second, can we better understand our derivative strategies? We talk about it every quarter, we talk about it in the normal cadence of board meetings, but now there's a little more focus. And that's leading to, certainly at the audit committee level and the discussions we're having, a little bit more education about some of these strategies, and then certainly finally landing on what are those trade-offs. Right? What are the things the companies might need to change? And the board level is having that discussion.